All right, let's talk about the G6 here. So this is a pretty cool phone. Can you maybe bring it up just quickly?
Oh, and there we go.
Look, I took my monstrosity away.
I do have the Google Now launcher on there, so let me just put the regular launcher so that you guys can see what it looks like. There you go. Otherwise, you won't see the full beautifulness of this screen. So this is a white one, which doesn't exist in the US, but it's a US model.
It's really pretty in person. And can we show the side?
I don't know if it's the screen that's super bright or the
one
camera
the one in front of us is bright. That one up there shows.
Okay, good. So anyways, you can see this is a gorgeous phone. And just as a point of reference, I have my Pixel here in a case. And as you can see, 5.5 inch display here on the Pixel versus 5.7. As you can see, this 2.1 aspect ratio display is taking up about 83% of the screens of the front of the phone. And I think this is where we're going. The Galaxy S8 is doing the same. To me, this is the most exciting part about this phone is the display. It's gorgeous. It's IPS. Get this, 2880 by 1440. It's exactly 2:1 aspect ratio, 18 by 9. And then, in the back, you've got the signature dual camera and fingerprint reader. This camera, if you want to zoom in a little bit, I don't know if I think you had 2 cameras set up. Ooh. So there's a wide angle and a regular. And this year, they're both 13 megapixel.
They're so good, by the way.
They're so good.
They're so good.
Almost, I would say in some cases better, but most of the time almost as good as a Pixel.
And what does the dual camera allow on the G6? Because they all do different things.
So it's the same as the G5 and the V20, which is wide angle and regular. And I can show you some examples in the camera app here, in the photo gallery, wherever it is. There's a gallery. So let's see if I can find some examples. There's actually a good example I took. So this is the same shot in wide angle versus
it's just beautiful.
Closer up.
Oh,
right?
Interesting.
So you can see how we're just seeing the same angle, but and then I think I've got a few more. Nice. Let's see. There's another one. So this is actually from the exact same vantage point in San Francisco. So this is the normal view, right? This is what you would normally see. And this one here is the wide angle of the same shot. See?
Oh, wow. That's a big difference.
The wide angle really makes a big difference.
When you look at that Prius on the left, between this where it's off in the distance and there, it's right on the corner.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So that's from the exact same position. So this is nothing new. The G5 and the V20 had this, but this is a new camera system in a way because it's an old sensor. It's the IMX825, I think, which is Sony's sensor from 2 years ago.
I'll show it off on my side here.
And it's it's interesting because it's only small. They're small pixels. They're 1.12 microns. Whereas the big thing about the Pixel makes it so good is that it has the f/1.8, and this one does too. But it's also got these massive pixels on the Pixel, hence the name. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that's why they call it Pixel. But this only has 1.12 micron, and LG's been using these 1.12 microns for a while because the previous phone had that too, but they had 16 megapixels instead. So you lose a bit of detail and the ability to crop and zoom in a bit compared to last year, but somehow the image processing, and again, this is what we're talking about, is so much better.
It's the colors.
It's the
colors are so good.
The dynamic range, all kinds of things.
Yes,
and so as
the
a
dynamic
result,
range, yeah.
As a result, this camera is brilliant. And then there are small other differences. Last year's wide angle on the V20 and the G5 was 8 megapixel. Now it's higher, it's 13. But they lost the OIS. So they have OIS on the normal camera, but on the wide angle last year they had OIS. Now they removed that. But you know what?
I almost wonder if that matters.
No, because in low light it does pretty well.
Yeah.
Because there's no autofocus on the wide angle. There never was.
Exactly.
So it's not really a big deal. Usually you're not looking at the kind of detail where it's going to be really blurry. And, I didn't find it to be an issue. So I think, they try to make this phone really slim. It's only 8 point something, like maybe 7.9 mil. I mean, it's pretty thin. And the cameras don't protrude at all. So
no, not at all.
So I think that they had to remove OIS for that. And and for that to work on that wide angle.
I mean, you can hardly even feel that
It's
there are
actually
cameras
slightly
there.
recessed.
Very,
you know that?
Yeah.
It's very,
So it's actually interesting.
slick back.
The f-stop on that wide angle is 2.4. So if you take a lot of night shots, it's going to be a little worse than the 1.8. But anyway, display's great, camera's great. The build and materials, it's the
Feels really
first
nice.
time, and I'm really excited about this because I've been saying they should do this for a while now. It's the first time that LG has brought us a phone made out of metal and glass. It is, machined and properly done. Last year's G5, as we know, was painted metal. I don't know why they were painting it. It looked like a car paint. It was really high quality, but they claimed metal, but didn't feel like metal. It felt like plastic. It was kind of cheap. And the modular thing
Because
just...
it was hollow on the inside. That's why it felt
I
like...
think that's why it felt so...
It felt weird.
So anyway, this is beautifully made, great screen and camera, great performance. It's Snapdragon 821, 4 gigs of RAM. One of the kind of downsides is that at least the US model only exists with 32 gigs.
Yeah.
It does have micro SD up to 256 gigs, but some versions in Asia have 64 gigs on this phone. And also, the US version is the only one with wireless charging. So maybe we get a little less storage, but we get wireless charging, which is kind of interesting. And then, you remember the V20 had a special audio DAC in addition to the built-in DAC called the Hi-Fi Quad DAC.
Right.
There are versions of the G6 for Korea that have the Hi-Fi Quad DAC, but our US model does not. That being said, the output on the Red phones is really, really good. I think they're using Qualcomm's default codec, and it's really, really solid.
I used it as a radio player over the weekend.
It's got a mono speaker that's pretty loud and pretty decent.
Yeah, exactly,
I mean, overall, there's really very little to complain about with this phone. I loved it, and I think, you look at the spec sheet, and you're like, this is such a last year's phone, Snapdragon 821, 4 gigs of RAM, 30 gigs of storage, but then you start using it, and that great display, and the build quality, and the camera, and the performance, and it just falls together as like something that, as I wrote in my review, is greater than the sum of its parts. And that's why I think if you're looking at buying a new phone this year, certainly the Galaxy S8 is something you're going to look at, but consider this phone because in terms of software, it's very minimal, the skinning, it's really fast, and it's $100 cheaper at $650 right out of the box, no matter what carrier you're on. I think the Verizon's $20 more, but whatever.
And they all come with a free Google Home until
right.
April 30th.
So you get free Google Home. Yeah.
And I think T-Mobile is adding an extra something to that deal.
So there was an offering of an extra TV.
So.
Oh yeah, Verizon had it.
Why so? Why is there why do they need to offer a free TV and a free Google Home?
No.
No?
I think
don't say that.
That happens a lot. Now remember, a lot of my parents get stuff that way. They'll buy something, they'll wait until something comes with like buy one get one free, and then that's how they'll get stuff. So they'll get like 3 things for the price of one. No, it's good incentive to get people to buy things.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
No, nothing wrong with it.
That bundling is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially because it comes with Google Assistant. Sorry, Myriam.
No, it's cool. The other thing I just don't want to forget while I think about it is water resistance.
Yes.
IP68, so water dust proof. USB Type-C. Headphone jack is not gone, which is wonderful.
Yay.
I mean, really, there's very little to complain. It's running Android 7 point something, 7.0 maybe. I think it still needs 7.1.
I think it's 7.0, yeah.
So, I mean, it's coming, but look, you're getting a pretty awesome phone for the money. I think LG's nailed it, and I think that in the past, I've always said that their odd numbers are kind of meh, but their even numbered Gs are really great. The G4,
so it's like
years for me.
It's like Star Trek.
Yeah, so it's Star Trek. So this, I think, is the G phone you want. If you're gonna buy one, if this is a year for you to buy a G phone, buy this one. I'd say would definitely skip the G5, even if you get a good deal on it, because this just forget about it after this guy.